Hi everyone, my name is Melissa and I'm going to speak briefly about how property investment can empower women to secure their financial futures, their success, self-worth, all the above. And even if you have no interest in property, I at least want everyone to learn at least one thing. So, walking your worth, not yet. Walking your worth is about celebrating successes like we're doing here today. It's about committing to your own personal growth, charging what we're worth for those ladies who are self-employed, who will understand what I mean, and working on your mindset. I've learned the importance of mindset the hard way. I used to always focus on my problems, and life is full of problems. I now, through daily work, I now focus on the positives and the things that are going right for me. Thank you. So the most common question I get asked is, Melissa, when is the best time to get involved in property investment? I always say the cheapest time would have been 1969, and the second best time is now. Property is a long-term thing, I should note. I have clients who think that they're going to get, properties overnight, they're going to be millionaires overnight, and that's not how it works. But what I can assure everyone is that property is really rewarding. So, I'm going to talk about my background. So, as Faustina said, thank you so much. I got started in HR. So I went to college, went to university, studied HR management. When I turned 26, I set a goal for myself when I was 20, and I said by the time I'm 30, I want to be a senior HR officer or a HR manager. So I had achieved that by the time I was 26, and I thought, okay, I've achieved my HR goal, what's next? That same year, I bought my property. So just to explain, I started saving when I was 16, bought my first car, carried on saving, bought my second car, didn't really know what I was saving for until that particular year where I was 26, and I thought, you know what, I can't afford London, I can afford somewhere small in Essex, and it was that caused me to want to go into property. So, in the process of building my business, I have encountered many pitfalls. If anyone wants to hear about the 10 issues that I've had over the years, it's not something I talk about without a glass of wine and a box of tissues. But what I will assure everyone is that we're all on our own journeys. So now, these are kind of some of the things that I do now. We have our own portfolio of HMOs, household multiple occupancy, which we also do HMO management. We joint venture and we find sites and properties. But to be honest, the most important and the most exciting part of my job is educating women on property investment, regardless of where they are on their journeys. Thank you. I have worked tirelessly over the years, and I've been featured in some amazing places. So the Voice newspaper, they interviewed me, and I wrote an article on property investment. And actually, Black Business magazine, I don't know if anyone's heard of them, they're on their 3rd edition, and I wrote an article for them just on property investment because I'm keen to kind of spread the word. Property isn't just for the multi-millionaires, and you can get started even with £5,000, for example, using the rent-to model. And I guess I always say that I'm not here to lie to anyone. I said it before, I'm not going to tell everyone, come follow me, you'll all be property millionaire moguls overnight, because it doesn't work like that. But it is daily steps, and literally anyone can do it. Thank you. So why now? We live in a time where more than one stream of income is super important. Does anyone here have more than one stream of income? Yes! Yes! Lovely, ladies. This is what I like to see. I'm in the right room. We can't cope with just one stream of income now. And this is why, so I'm going to explain the rent-to model. So there are many types of property investment strategies. There's your typical buy-to-let, where you buy a property, you rent it out to a tenant. There's HMOs, so similar to buy-to-lets, but instead of a single person, you rent it out per room. So the rent-to model, which I think I should have a slide for, but no, I don't, so no need to change, that's absolutely fine. The rent-to model is basically where you rent a property from a landlord, it's all legal, you get a contract between you and the landlord. He wants, say, £1,000 for his 4-bed house. You then agree with him that you're going to rent the rooms out on a room rate basis. So, for example, 4-bed house, say you rent each room for £500, that's £2,000 coming in. The landlord gets his £1,000, the rest is profit. Of course, it's not always that simple. There are bills, there are refurb costs, but this is all things that I go through with my clients. So, speaking about my clients, we're going to use Angela as case study. Thank you so much. So Angela, when we first started speaking, so she was 42, has 2 kids, and she had 20,000 in her account. So she was saying that she wanted to get started in property investment, but her husband had said it's too risky and complicated. I mean, he's right, it is risky and it is complicated, but when you know what you're doing, when you've done the numbers, when you're doing your due diligence, then yeah, this is what it's about. It's about learning what you need to do instead of just saying, oh no, can't do that, we don't do that, that's too risky. And the thing with Angela is it meant that her 20,000, you know, if she left that in her account for 10 years, it would have been maybe 24 or 25,000, but she wanted something for her kids. So, thank you. I mean, I'm not going to go through all of, like, I'm not going to go in depth with every single thing that you work out when you're looking for a property, but these are just kind of headline figures. So for the property to be that price, that tells you that it's in the northeast of England, so this was in Darlington. Deposit is always 25% if it's your second property, investment property. Stamp duty, all pretty standard, already tenanted. So Angela done well with this property because it was tenanted, which means that there was people living in there already, which means cash flow from day one. And the upfront costs, 19,100, rental income. So something to mention on this. Now, if you bear in mind, Angela she had 20,000 in her savings and she was going to leave that in the account for 10 years to pass to her children. But actually, with a rental income of £500 per month, gross, that's say 6,000 gross per year. In 10 years' time, if she doesn't touch that pot of money, that same 20,000 will now be 60,000. And Angela doesn't just benefit from the monthly income of £500, she'll benefit when she comes to sell the property via capital appreciation. I mean, the thing with this is I know these things, and I'm kind of here to kind of spread my knowledge really, because we can all do these types of things if we want to build something for ourselves, the next generation. We hear about building generational wealth, and it comes from investing in assets. So, a few of the ladies have asked, but I'm asking, are we walking our worth? Are we doing what we need to be doing to kind of fulfill what we want to do in life? So, I help ladies walk their worth, in my opinion. So, I say to everyone, if you are stuck, if you are thinking, you know what, Melissa, I want to get started in property, but I don't quite understand it, then just book a virtual coffee with me. My details will be on the last slide anyway. And I'm in the process of working on a course, a property investment course, and I've got a webinar in a couple of weeks, so lots of exciting stuff that has happened and is happening. Okay. So I wanted to leave everyone with at least 2 key points. If you pick up even just 2 things for me standing here with my pile of cards, I would say walking our worth is about taking our future into our hands. And you don't need to be rich to get started in property investment, and this is why the rent-to model exists. So if you have any further questions, you want to get started in property, you want to hear more about this mindset webinar that I've mentioned, then the icons haven't worked. But this is a WhatsApp number. Do not call me. My reception doesn't put calls through to me at all. So this is a WhatsApp number. Email me, follow me, and thank you for listening.